Hello and thanks for joining us for our late night newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom. We start tonight with the response to the power abuse scandal that has sent shockwaves through Korea. The nation's rival parties have offered mixed reactions to the president's decision Friday to order all of her senior presidential secretaries to resign amid the public uproar over the alleged influence of her longtime friend on state affairs. The opposition parties say the president's move falls short of the mark. It comes as public demonstrations have been taking place in central Seoul and in other parts of the nation this evening. Park Jiwon starts us off.
Korea's ruling Saenuri Party has welcomed President Park Geun-hye's decision to order all 10 of her senior secretaries to step down. Floor leader Chung Jin-seok said Saturday that the ruling party had already repeatedly urged the top office to dismiss those involved in the Choi Soon-sil scandal. The party added that Parliament should now focus on deliberations for next year's budget.
We believe it's time the rival parties stop political bickering for their own partisan interests and start focusing on the budget deliberation for 2017.
While the ruling party is eager to move on, the opposition parties are digging their heels in, saying the president's move to dismiss the senior secretaries falls far short of what she needs to do. The main opposition Democratic Party of Korea says the top office's decision is too little, too late, considering the level of public outrage. The party says it also wants Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn and other senior government officials allegedly involved in the scandal replaced.
The cabinet is supposed to assist the president and manage overall state affairs. They should be held responsible for not being able to prevent Choi Soon-sil and her group of people becoming so deeply involved in state affairs.
The interim leader of the minor opposition People's Party, Park Jiwon, is demanding the entire cabinet stand down to take responsibility of the scandal. He also called for President Park to leave the Saenuri Party. As reports about the scandal continue to pour out, shedding more light on the extent of Choi Soon-sil's alleged meddling in budget allocations, key government projects, and even some minister appointments, public protests were held on Saturday night, with more scheduled to take place nationwide in the coming days. In central Seoul on Saturday, an estimated 30,000 citizens joined a mass demonstration jointly organized by several civic groups. Walking up Seoul's Cheonggye Plaza to Gwanghwamun Square, they called on the top office to reveal the truth about the allegations and chanted slogans demanding the president step down. More than 24 university student councils and professors have also issued statements condemning the Park Geun-hye administration and demanding it reveal the whole truth. Park Jiwon, Arirang News.
Turning now to the nation's top office, where prosecutors were rebuffed in their efforts to raid its offices amid the ongoing investigation into the scandal involving President Park Geun-hye's confidant. The presidential office says it submitted a statement to the prosecutor's office on Saturday evening, which said prosecutors won't be allowed to enter the premises without the top office's permission. It handed over documents related to the probe instead, stressing that their entry would compromise national security. Prosecutors plan to attempt another raid as they say the documents received were insufficient. Earlier on Saturday, prosecutors confiscated computers and documents from the homes of a top presidential advisor, 2 other close aides and the Deputy Culture Minister. The probe of the presidential office is expected to continue through the weekend. North Korea has warned South Korea that it will no longer tolerate any form of psychological warfare along the demilitarized zone. The regime's state-run news agency cited the army as saying Seoul's move to set up a large electronic display at the DMZ could lead to direct military conflict. The report said South Korea started installing the 10-meter by 18-meter screen in Cheolwon on Thursday. Pyongyang says the move is pushing an already tense situation to an unpredictable phase. South Korea's defense ministry denies the North's claims, saying the installation is for loudspeaker broadcasts only. And the South is still mulling over plans to build an electronic display. The South has been broadcasting anti-regime slogans across the border since North Korea's 4th nuclear test in January. Hillary Clinton has called on the FBI to release full details of new emails, which it says may be pertinent to its probe into her handling of classified information when she was Secretary of State. Her Republican presidential rival, Donald Trump, says the FBI would not have reopened the case unless it concerned a serious criminal offence. Shin Se-min has more.
The investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails is back on, nearly 4 months after the FBI said its probe into her private email server was over, recommending no charges. FBI Director James Comey said Friday local time that a new batch of emails had come to light. In a letter to Congress, Comey said the Bureau is looking into additional emails, quote-unquote, that appear to be pertinent to the investigation, but said the FBI cannot yet assess whether or not this material may be significant. Law enforcement officials said the additional emails were discovered on a laptop that belonged to disgraced former New York Congressman Anthony Weiner. Federal officials have been looking into sexting messages that Weiner allegedly exchanged with a 15-year-old girl in 2011. His wife, a top Clinton aide, Huma Abedin, is believed to have exchanged emails with the presidential candidate using that laptop. Giving a short press conference in Iowa, Clinton blasted Comey, claiming nothing new would be found.
The director himself has said he doesn't know whether the emails referenced in his letter are significant or not. I'm confident, whatever they are, will not change the conclusion reached in July.
While Clinton ponders her next move, Trump was quick to welcome the news.
I have great respect for the fact that the FBI and the Department of Justice are now willing to have the courage to right the horrible mistake that they made.
Watchers say there's no guarantee the investigation will be done by Election Day or whether it'll change Comey's previous conclusion reached in July. With slightly over a week before November 8th election, the polls continue to tighten, with Clinton leading by 4 points, down from 7, according to Real Clear Politics National Average Opinion Poll. Shin Se-min, Arirang News.
A South Korean national has been murdered in the Philippines, becoming the 7th Korean to be killed in that country this year. The Foreign Ministry in Seoul says the male victim, whose identity has not been released, was driving near the city of Baguio when he was shot to death by an unidentified assailant early Saturday local time. The Korean embassy in the Philippines is cooperating with the police to try and track down the killer and attempt to find a motive. The latest death comes slightly over 2 weeks after 3 Koreans were found dead with gunshot wounds in the city of Bacolod. Now, the first industrial revolution came with the steam engine, electricity brought on the second, and the third came with computers and automation. Now is the time of the fourth industrial revolution. An international conference to discuss this issue, along with Korea's place in it, opened in Seoul on Friday, and our Kwon Jang-ho was there.
Technologies like artificial intelligence, big data, and the Internet of Things are coming together to make production smarter and create whole new industries, and they're bringing about the fourth industrial revolution. But that means changes and risks to traditional industries and jobs. Nations, including Korea, have to adapt. This international conference in Seoul brought together leading thinkers and politicians to discuss Korea's place in this new environment.
The huge transition to the fourth industrial revolution may be threatening, but could be new opportunities depending on our reactions.
Observers agreed that Korea's technological prowess gave it a good starting point to deal with the coming changes.
We all know about how good the information and communication architecture here is, the broadband connection. We know that you have some world-leading technology companies, world-leading manufacturing companies. So there are many things that show that Korea is an extremely technologically advanced economy.
Justin Wood is an executive committee member of the World Economic Forum, an organization that has done a great deal over the past 2 years to highlight the industrial shift. On their Global Competitiveness Index, they ranked Korea 25th in terms of the fourth industrial revolution, suggesting there's room for improvement.
So in what areas does Korea need to work on to better prepare for the fourth industrial revolution?
I think in the case of Korea, there are a few aspects in the country which are a little bit worrying because they suggest a lack of flexibility. We need Korea to, I think, open up and embrace creative destruction. You have to allow old companies that are no longer thriving to fail and allow new entrepreneurial startups to move into their place and to succeed.
He added that Korea needs to develop its services sector as the fourth industrial revolution will be driven by software more than hardware.
The future of trade is going to be driven much more by trade in ideas and intellectual property and designs and blueprints and virtual content, and much less in physical goods. So Korea has this huge prowess and strength in manufacturing, but I think the future is going to be much more determined by services.
With the right changes, Korea can build on the economic success it has seen over the last few decades. It can then set its sights on taking a leading role in the fourth industrial revolution. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.
Now, many people in Korea are going to the mountains to enjoy the sights of the changing season. For the next week, national parks around the country are offering a variety of special events to accompany the fall foliage. Lee Min-young has the details.
In time for the change of season, national parks in Korea are working to promote local specialties and revive regional economies by offering a variety of tourism programs. One of the best autumn destinations in the country is Mount Jirisan in Gyeongsang-namdo Province. Until next week, people visiting the mountain can join eco-tourism activities and taste some regional delicacies. Seoraksan National Park in Gangwon-do Province and Juangsan National Park in Gyeongsang-buk-do Province, which are both famous for their scenic views, will both host photo exhibitions and open a marketplace of local foods like potatoes and apples. Cheaksan National Park in Gangwon-do Province is offering camping school courses and cultural performances for their visitors. Many other national parks around the country, like Bukhansan, which is especially popular among citizens of Seoul, will also offer programs in the coming week. Potential hikers are advised to choose their course wisely.
People should select the right trail for their health and enjoy the colorful fall foliage.
The state agency is also asking guests to remove food packaging and other potential garbage before setting out on a hike. They will not only help them pack light, but will help cut down on the amount of trash thrown into the mountains by a growing number of hikers. Lee Min-young, Arirang News.
Well, those are the stories we have for you at this hour. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out the website arirang.com/news, and do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.